So this time x has a 3 on it, which is cubic. So 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. And 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. So we have to know those. We have to feel those. We have to be able to spot them when they happen. So since there's a 3 right here, this is x times x times x. And this 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. And when we first looked down at the problem, we realized there were just 2 pieces. There were just 2 terms. And since there were only 2 terms, then I had to look for some kind of pattern. So here's my pattern. Now the first part is common sense. Remember, x minus 2. That's common sense, isn't it? That just makes sense. X minus 2. We used one of those x's and we used one of those 2's. What is x multiplied by x? X squared. What is 2 multiplied by 2? 4. The only thing that's hard to remember is the middle. And you just multiply them together. What's an x times a 2? That's a 2x. Now we said there can only be one negative. In our experiments, we realized there can only be one negative. Do we already have it? Then these are not negative. We can only have one negative. That's why everything disappeared, isn't it? It canceled itself out, and that's what happened to it. Now, what happens if it's x cubed plus 8? Well, x cubed, that's x times x times x, and 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. We all know that. And our common sense is going to say x plus 2, isn't it? X plus 2. Now we're going to start doing the ugly part. We used one of the x's and we used one of the 2's already. What is x multiplied by x? X squared. What is 2 multiplied by 2? That's 4. And the middle is when you multiply the 2 together. So 2 times x is 2x. Now right here, remember we can only have one negative. In the one before it, it was right here in the common sense one, wasn't it? This was the common sense. And this was the ugly, wasn't it? Then if it's not here, it has to be here. It can never be here. Why not? Because 2 times 4 has to equal 8. And if that were negative, it wouldn't work, would it? All right, let's try another one. All right, 125. X to the third. X times x times x. 5 times 5 times 5. Don't worry about the negative. What we're doing is developing a pattern. So what does my common sense tell me to do? My common sense says put a x minus 5. X minus 5. The ugly, I used one of the x's. I used one of the 5's. So here we go. X multiplied by x is x squared. 5 multiplied by 5 is 25. And the only hard part is remembering the middle, 5 times x. Now I say right here to myself, only one negative. Well, do I already have it? Then I don't need another one. It's a pattern. Next one. 2x, 2x, and 2x. That's 8, isn't it? Because we discussed how 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, and 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. So that's 2x, 2x, 2x. 3, 3, and 3. Then what is my common sense? Well, my common sense says 2x minus 3. 2x minus 3. Now I start building the ugly part. Well, I used 2 of my x's. So I look right here and I go, well, what's 2x multiplied by 2x? Well, that's 4x2. And I used one of my 3's. So 3 times 3 is 9. And then I have to memorize that whole 3 times 2x is 6x, don't I? And how many negatives? Only one. Do I already have it? Then I don't need any more. So the last one here, let's think this through. After we already have this one, is this still 2x, 2x, 2x? Is this still 3, 3, and 3? But what's different this time? What's the common sense one this time? The common sense is 2x plus 3. 2x plus 3. So let's start the ugly. I used one of the 2x's. I used one of the 3's. Well, 2 times 2 is 4, and x times x is x squared. And 3 times 3 is 9. And I have to remember the middle. 2x times 3 is 6x. Now, how many negatives do I need? 1. I need one negative. If it's not here, it has to be here. It can never be here, right? Because I need 3 times 9 to be positive 27. So that's differences and sums of cubes. Cubes are things to the power of 3.